What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be bringing back another what if Copy Vegeta turned good, and we're doing part 3, the Broly movie. And if you haven't seen the previous two parts, I'd recommend you guys go check it out. It'll be in the iCard above, and once you're done with those, come back and watch this video. Anyways, remember to like and subscribe, and let's get on with the video. Like I said at the end of part 2, the remnants of Frieza's army begin a universe-wide search for the strongest warriors, as Barry Blue and Kikuno want to go to Earth and collect the Dragon Balls to bring back Frieza. And much like in canon, Chile and Lemma do find themselves on Vampa and find Broly and Paragus. I'll leave that entire part of the story the same for the most part, as it really doesn't change. This time around, it's Barry Blue and Kikuno that inform Paragus that King Vegeta's son is still alive and on Earth. With Paragus wanting revenge, and Barry Blue feeling like Broly's immeasurable power is enough to protect them to some extent, they head towards Earth. And speaking of Earth, Goku, both Vegetas, and the kids are sparring above the ocean. Who they spar with randomly changes to keep them on their toes. Like Goku could be sparring with Copy Vegeta one second, and the next he's being attacked by Vegeta and Goten. This is to get better accustomed to fighting in battle royales, just in case they have to fight in another tournament of power again. Once they stop, the Saiyans sit down and get some food, and Bulma receives a call from Dr. Briefs. He tells her that the Frieza Force is attacking West City before the call gets cut off abruptly. Bulma gets up immediately, telling the Saiyans that they should go and put a stop to this. So the Saiyans grab onto Goku and they instant transmission there. Obviously the Saiyans in their base forms are more than enough to take him out without a problem. Trunks then goes into Capsule Corp and searches through the rubble and finds his grandfather dead. Vegeta and Goten go to comfort him while Copy Vegeta checks the room. He points out that the Dragon Balls that Bulma collected are missing. This is confirmed when Bulma tells him that the 7 Dragon Balls have been collected. She tells him that the last Dragon Ball was on the Ice Continent and she was saving it for last because she didn't want to deal with the gold. As the Saiyans are getting ready to head off to the Ice Continent, more Frieza soldiers arrive to stall them for even longer. After they quickly deal with these Frieza soldiers, they blast off for the Ice Continent, and on their way there, Shenron is summoned. Seeing the sky go dark only means one thing, so they try to go even faster to get to the Dragon Balls. When they arrive, they don't see the Dragon Balls, they see a newly revived Frieza, and as well as 2 brand new Saiyans. Paragus almost immediately notices Vegeta and realizes that he looks a lot like his father. He then does the double take as he sees Copy Vegeta and questions whether he's seeing double or not. However, there's no time to question that, as he goes on to tell everybody that because of King Vegeta being afraid of his son got exiled to planet Vampa. And now that he's here, he's gonna get his revenge on Vegeta. Because Trunks is here, he's the one to point out that that's kinda dumb, his grandfather's already dead. Taking it out on his dad is kinda pointless because he didn't do anything. Paragus replies that it's his fault because when he was a baby, King Vegeta was afraid that his boy was stronger. Paragus and Trunks go back and forth a bit, arguing about whether this is dumb or not, before Frieza cuts him off, telling Paragus to hurry up and get his revenge before he kills everybody here. Paragus apologizes before he orders Broly to attack the non-gooey Vegeta. This is where things start to sorta line up within canon, as Vegeta fights Broly for a bit. He goes Super Saiyan, and after a bit, he goes Super Saiyan God and blasts him into the icy cold water. However, Broly doesn't like his water with ice, so he becomes enraged and fights Vegeta for a bit more. After that, Goku takes over the fight for a bit and does as well as in canon. However, once the God Mind fails, Goku is left on the floor. Copy Vegeta then decides to step in, saying he'll show Broly why he's the true Prince of all Saiyans. He tries to fight the enraged Broly in his base form, however it's quickly made apparent that that won't be enough. So he goes straight into his perfected blue form and overpowers Broly quite easily, and thinking that getting this Saiyan's power would be a great benefit to his own, Copy Vegeta tries to absorb him like he did with Vegeta. Meanwhile, Paragus is thinking that this is the end for his son. However, Frieza remembers one of the most iconic moments in all Dragon Ball and turns to Paragus. Through the goo, Broly hears that his father has been killed by a stray Ki Blast, and this unleashes Broly's inner Super Saiyan. Because of the sudden eruption in power, it sends pieces of Copy Vegeta flying. These pieces form into two different figures. One is the Copy Vegeta we all know, and the second is a gooey looking Broly thing. Broly quickly attempts to fight the copies and overpowers them both at the same time. Regular Vegeta flies in saying that it's pretty obvious he can't defeat him on his own. Vegeta and Copy Vegeta try to fight him together, however that doesn't work. Both Vegetas even attempt to throw a combined Galick Gun and Final Flash just for Broly to rip through the attack and send them into a mountain. This is where Blue Goku instant transmissions in, telling him to get back to the boys, as he hasn't had his chance to fight Broly yet as a Super Saiyan Blue. Plus, the boys said that they had a plan. The two Vegetas hesitantly retreat and go meet with the boys and see Bulma and Whis with them, who have finally arrived to the battle. Bulma asked the million-dollar question of why does Copy Broly look that way? Copy Vegeta states that he didn't have enough time to create a perfect copy, therefore it looks weird and isn't as strong. Trunks then interrupts him, explaining that his master plan is that they should fuse in order to beat that crazy dude. Both Vegetas simultaneously say no, since they don't really want to fuse together and they don't really like each other. Goten chimes in that if they don't fuse, Broccoli will destroy the Earth. Bulma tells the two that they wouldn't want anything to happen to Trunks, Bra, and her, would they? The guilt trip ends up working as they agree to learn how to do the fusion dance with Goten and Trunks as mentors. They still end up messing up the dance twice, meaning that Goku, Copy Broly, and maybe Frieza have to fight him off for like an hour or so. However, on their third attempt, they perform it perfectly and become Fused Vegeta. The fusion states that he feels different from when he fuses with Kakarot, almost like he's more of himself. Goten excitedly interrupts, telling him to quit thinking and let's go get this Broly guy. Vegeta tells him to stay back and protect Bulma from harm, he'll deal with Broly. He then leaves a disappointed Gotenks and gets in the middle of the fight. He then proceeded to lead Broly away from the others. Unlike Gogeta, Fused Vegeta is far more aggressive towards Broly, and he doesn't give him a second to breathe during the battle. However, Fused Vegeta isn't as strong as Gogeta, so he has to go Super Saiyan a lot sooner. As Super Saiyan Vegeta fights Broly, Goku and the clone Vegeta get back to Bulma and the boys to watch the fight. Goku, while watching the fight, tells everybody that as much as he wants to win this fight, he hopes the Vegetas don't kill him. He goes on to say that Broly isn't really evil. He's not entirely sure why, but he gets some sort of feeling that he really isn't evil. Their attention is quickly brought back to the fight when Vegeta and Broly break reality and go into that weird dimension place. Frieza uses the opportunity to get into his ship and leave Earth, since he's got a second chance at life and doesn't want to get killed as soon as Broly gets put down, or once Broly kills everybody. Chile and Lemo have actually managed to get off the ship before it leaves, and they start making their way towards Goku. Meanwhile, both Vegeta and Broly obtain their final forms, and once they get out of the weird dimension, the battle continues. Fused Vegeta calls back the Broly copy, so it merges back into Vegeta and they gain a bit more power. Broly attempts to do his mouth beam, however Vegeta jumps behind him, wrapping his gooey arm around Broly's neck and aiming the blast towards the sky. With his regular arm, he unleashes a barrage of Ki Blast, followed up by a Big Bang attack. This is when Chila and Lemo finally get to Goku and Co. They explain that they need to stop Broly before he dies, and goes on to explain that Broly isn't really evil, he was just being used as a tool by his dad. This is more than enough to convince Goku to try and stop Vegeta. After all, Goku was already thinking that Broly wasn't evil, this more or less just kinda confirms it. When they look back at the fight, they see Vegeta wrapping his arm around Broly's body, and begins to charge up a one-handed Final Flash. Goku and Gotenks tried to yell to Vegeta to stop, however they're too far away for Vegeta to hear him. As soon as Vegeta launches the Final Flash, Goku uses instant transmission and ends up in front of Broly. Thankfully, Vegeta notices at the last minute and bends the attack upwards, narrowly missing Goku. Afterwards, he gets in Goku's face, calling him an idiot for jumping in front of his attack. Had he not noticed in time, he would have died alongside Broly. After Goku apologizes, he explains everything to Vegeta about Broly. They look over at him and they notice that Broly has somewhat started to calm down. But after noticing that Broly has started to calm down, they let go of him, and shortly after, they defuse. Both Vegetas look at each other before looking away embarrassed, and stating that they're never gonna do that again. After Bulma giggles at their embarrassment, she asks what are they gonna do about him, referring to Broly. Lemon says that they can take him back to Vampa. However, Goten chimes in suggesting to keep him on Earth. To which Goku agrees with him, saying that the three of them did betray Frieza, so maybe it'd be safer to stay here. He then adds on that he'd like to train with them someday as well. Sheila is the only one out of the three that is sorta against the idea, as she doesn't fully trust Goku and his friend. However, Lemon talks some reason into her, saying that it'd be a smart idea for them to do so. After all, Frieza would be more scared to show his face on Earth with Goku, Vegeta, and Broly here. Chilai ultimately gives in and decides to stay on Earth with everybody else. With a little bit of money from Bulma, they get a house built not too far away from Goku's house. And shortly after the events of the Broly movie, Copy Vegeta gets interested of that Uzaru power that Broly has. So he goes to Broly's house to ask him how he can incorporate it to his own power. Anyways, that's where we're going to be leaving off the What If for today. Part 4 will most likely cover the Moro arc, which will change quite a bit. So let me know down below whether you liked Fuse Vegeta or you like the fact that I have Broly on Earth. Just let me know what your general thoughts are so I can improve on in part 4. Anyways, with that all out of the way, tell me what you guys thought down below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.